Well, I am an Essex boy, and I can't help being an Essex boy. Actually, I'm quite proud of Essex, although Essex is the butt of jokes across the country and worldwide. But there's a kind of chutzpah about people from Essex. There's no snobbishness about it. And to some extent, there is a similarity between the kind of character of people in Essex and the people in Lancashire. I first came to Blackburn through working for Barbara Castle, who was my predecessor, because I unexpectedly was asked to work for her as a special political advisor in the early part of 1974. I didn't know her, I didn't know Blackburn, I didn't know anything about the subjects that she was covering in health and social security, and I had what I thought was a settled career at the bar as a barrister. Anyway, I took a chance and worked for her, and I came first of all to Blackburn in the October of 1974 when there was a second general election that year. Got to know the town, then got involved in helping the local party. And when Barbara announced her retirement, which was sometime, I think, in late 1976, I put my name in and asked to be considered. And as it happens, and this has been a rather strong tradition in Blackburn, all 5 of the candidates who were shortlisted for the nomination by the Labour Party were from outside the town, not from inside the town. Anyway, they chose me, and I got it on the first ballot, thankfully. I was aware that people would regard me as a sort of southern softie to begin with. There's not much I could do about that. To admit that, yep, I was a southern softie, but I'd had a not dissimilar background. I got a scholarship and went to a highly selective school, but I had been brought up on a council estate and had done things like worked for my uncles who were plumbers, and had understood about domestic violence and antisocial behaviour from experiencing that kind of rough and ready environment on a council estate. So that gave me some connection and understanding. And I just realised I had to work very hard, in partly because I was taking the seat after Barbara Castle, who had a brilliant reputation. But the other thing I just say about Blackburn people is that what they're most interested in is whether people are for Blackburn. I mean, a very large number of the people who indigenous whites here came from somewhere else, because such a large proportion of people in town are of Irish descent. And their forebears came in the 1880s, actually to break strikes, and they lived in the immigrant area. They were treated as pariahs by the so-called indigenous population, the Protestant population, and they gradually became assimilated. But it's a bit like Blackburn Rovers. What people are interested in town is whether Rovers is winning and helping to put Blackburn on the map. And Blackburnians are not impressed by the fact that the 2 MPs they've had since the war have been pretty prominent in national politics. They regard that as kind of rations. You know, if you're lucky enough to represent this town, you bloody well better be in the cabinet. And nor are they particularly impressed by the fact that until, sadly, Burnley got into the Premier League, we were by far and away the smallest town sustaining a Premier League team. People just think that's rations too. That's what people in Blackburn deserve. And it's what the Scots call very nicely a sort of fine conceit which of themselves. And it means people have got strong aspirations. It's part of what gives this town its vigour.